Okay, we're going to cook my chicken pie. Hopefully you've got your pan on the heat, getting nice and hot. So we just need to add a nice glug of oil, about a tablespoon of oil into the pan, and just give it a swirl around, and then we're going to add in the vegetables. And just give this a stir, and then we need to add a pinch of salt and pepper. Okay, we can leave this on the heat whilst we go and season the chicken. So take the salt and pepper over to your work surface and we'll season the chicken. Okay, so just a pinch of salt and pepper all over them. Nice and generous. And this is a really good one, using chicken thigh, because chicken thigh really lends itself to something like a pie, because it can take a longer cooking without drying up, because it's got more natural oil and fat in it. It's an awful lot cheaper than chicken breast. So we take these back over to the hob and we'll get them into the pan. So all we want to do with these is just move them around the pan, trying to get a bit of heat onto them. It'll all get finished off cooking in the oven when the pie's complete, but we'll just start the cooking process now. So just move them around so that they're getting to the bottom of the pan and getting some heat. And they should start changing colour. That's what you want. So then just turn them over, just trying to get the pink bit going white. And I've still got it on a high heat at the moment. That's absolutely fine. Okay, hopefully most of your chicken should have turned white, so it's sealed the heat. Okay, so just give it all a stir together, and now we're going to add in the flour. So it's just 1 heaped dessert spoon of flour. Okay, like that. And then give that a nice stir in. And you can see instantly how the flour absorbs all the moisture. And that's really good, because what will happen is when we add the stock in a second, it'll just help thicken it so that it's not runny, and you'll have like a nice saucy consistency to the pie. So once it's all stirred in, we can now just add in the stock. So it's just stock and milk. And just give it a little stir, just to check that nothing's burning on the bottom. And all we need to do is bring this up to a simmer, and this will simmer away absolutely fine whilst we roll out the pastry. So I'm actually going to turn this off the high heat and move it onto the smaller burner. And that'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so we can go over and clear a little bit of space on your work surface and take your flour over, and we'll roll out the pastry. Right, hopefully you've got a relatively clear work surface to work with. So all we need to do is just put a nice dusting of flour on the work surface. Okay, now just take your puff pastry and just straight on top. So easy so far, and don't worry, it doesn't get any more difficult than this. Just sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of the pastry, and then just with some flour in your hands, just rub it over the rolling pin. And all this will do is just mean that it'll stop the pastry from sticking too much. And now we just need to start rolling it out. So just using an even pressure on the rolling pin, just back and forth a couple of times. There we go. And we'll just turn this over and just rub some more flour in, just to stop it sticking onto your work surface, and then pop the pastry back down. And then we're going to do it in the opposite direction. So I've turned the pastry quarter turn, so we're trying to make sure that it stays as square as possible. So a couple of rolls this way, and then turn it over. And you see how now it's gone slightly oblong. We've turned it round, and we'll roll it this way. And then just after each set of rolling it, just turn it over to check it's not sticking. Oh, there we go. And the thickness we're looking for is roughly the thickness of a pound coin. So we're almost there. Alright, let's just check it's not sticking. And then one last go. I think it needs to be just a little wider. And you're just trying to get it so that there's plenty of room for you to cut out something that's bigger than your pie dish. So I think we're just about there. See, I'm using one of these plates. So this is the pie dish, and this is the plate I'm going to use to cut out the pastry. So if you have a little look, you see the plate is just a little bit bigger than the pie dish. So I can use my plate as a template, or if you don't have one like that, just pop your pie dish on top and then leave like about an inch gap as you cut it out. And careful not to press too hard onto your work surface, otherwise you'll get told off for ruining it. And just cut out a nice circle, or if your pie dish isn't circular, whatever shape you've got. Okay, so you should be left with a hole, and more importantly, this will be the lid for your pie dish. So hopefully your chicken is nicely simmering away. We can go and get that now, and we can pop that into your pie dish. I'll show you what mine is looking like. Hopefully yours is looking the same. Not much really has changed since we turned the heat up. And now we just need to carefully pour this into the pie dish. Oh, I'm going to spoon it in the other way. I'm right-handed, it doesn't make very good for the camera. Just carefully spoon it into the pie dish. Oh. Try not to make a mess. There we go, one more. And get all the nice bits. Right. There we go. Right, now remember we had the piece of pastry that was left over, we're going to use that to create like a rim around the side. So first off, we need to just wet our fingertips and run our fingertips around the outside of the bowl, just like this. Just nothing too drastic. It'll just help the pastry stick to it. There we go. Now, using one of the strips of pastry, what we're going to do is, if you just watch me how I do this, then I'll give you a second to catch up. So just using one of the little bits that you had, we're just going to drape it over the edge and pinch it round. We'll trim it up afterwards to make it look all pretty, but this is going to be make it a lot easier for the lid to stick to. Okay, so I'll leave you to catch up. So just pinch it onto the rim of the pie dish, and don't worry if it's hanging over the edge on the outside of the dish. That's absolutely fine. Okay, now we're just going to do the same process using another little bit of the strip and doing it round the rest of the pie dish, just so that until we've got it completely covered. So I'll turn this round so you can see. It's nice and simple. I'm sure you can understand what I'm on about. Oh, almost got it to meet. So I'll just give you a little second to catch up. Here we go. Okay, hopefully you're still with me. Now we just need to wet our fingers again and run our fingers round the pastry rim that we've just created, because again this will help the lid stick to it. And don't worry, after this you're pretty much done. But when you see the end result and taste it, it'll be well worth it. So just wetting the outside of the pastry, just take your pastry lid and arrange it on top. Hopefully it should fit. And then straight away you just need to start pinching it together with I'll bring it round so you can see. See, this is the pastry lid and this is the rim. Just pinch them together. It should be nice and easy. And just go all the way around the pie, just pinching it together. And by wetting it, it'll almost act as like a glue, helping it stick together. If you've got little dainty fingers, your finger indentations will look nice. Unfortunately, I don't have that, so yours will probably look nicer. So just pinching the lid together with the rim all the way round. Almost there, I think. Right, and I'll just leave you to catch it up. Okay, and now all that's left to do is just to trim it. So you can see where we've got one of the big bits here. We're just going to cut. You don't want to trim it right back, because you'll still need a little bit around the edge, but just, you see how I'm doing that? Just run that all the way round. It'll come away really, really easy. Here we go. So I told you we'd make it look nice. Just run the knife nice and easily all the way round. Oh, there we go. So that is essentially your pie. And there's only two little things that we need to do next. I'll just give you a second just to catch up. If you've already done that, get your egg that you've got beaten in a mug. And now we just need to, using a pastry brush, just brush the beaten egg all over it. You won't need anywhere near the whole egg, but unfortunately in a recipe you can't say a quarter of an egg. And good luck trying to buy one. Okay. Right, so what the egg will do is it'll just give it a really nice golden colour when it cooks in the oven. And then the last thing, using your knife, just make two little slits, little holes in the middle, and that'll just allow the steam to rise, to escape through. And don't worry, once you've put it in the oven, if it looks like it collapses, because it will rise up. Just have faith. So all you need to do is pop this in the oven for 25 minutes until the top is risen and gone nice and golden brown, and then take it out of the oven and we'll compare. Do is pop this. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. I've just taken mine out of the oven. Hopefully yours is looking the same. It's gone all nice and golden crispy on the top and ready to dive in. Obviously it will be really hot, so I would advise you just to maybe take the lid off and just leave it for a few minutes just to cool down slightly. But I hope you enjoy it.